pretty much at your standard base. I have no trouble with weight, and I just basically maintain what I already achieved.
All right, that's an interview done yesterday between Dan and Scott McIntosh. Scott, a very, very popular fighter here in Nova Scotia, Darren.
Absolutely, and fresh off his silver medal performance at the Pan American Games. And as he said in his interview there, this will be his very first competition since then. So I'm sure he's very excited for what he's done for himself, as all Nova Scotians are right now.
And he'll be facing the St. Michael's champion out of Ireland. That's Keith Wayland. Once again, this is in the 156-pound category, and we know that Scott McIntosh can hit and hit rather hard. And taking a look at Keith Wayland, he looks like he's been in a few wars himself.
Yeah, he looks pretty solid, and being the Irish champ, of course, we have two international champions here, so this could be well up to its billing here. It's a great fight.
Rounds in the 156-pound weight class. In the blue corner, a champion from St. Michael's, Ireland. Please welcome Keith Wayland.
So there you see Keith Wayland from Ireland.
In the red corner, from Halifax, Nova Scotia, the recent silver medalist at the Pan Am Games. To the head for Scott McIntosh.
And there, of course, who's now residing in Halifax is Scott McIntosh, who is ironically a teacher.
A teacher, that's right. Well, who said that all boxers are not soft to heart? But Scott's a nice fellow, I'll tell you. You'd be hard-pressed to find a nicer guy, and a gentleman in and out of the ring, a true competitor, which is why he's achieved the status he has.
I'll bet his students pay attention to what he says.
Certainly do. I'm sure he doesn't need to crack a ruler to get their attention. And we get these two ready to go now, and we see Scott's obviously fired up, and I'm sure the Irishman is too, so we look to have a great fight coming up.
All right, so there's the opening bell for our final amateur bout of the evening. Pan Am Games silver medalist Scott McIntosh from Halifax in red, and Keith Wayland from Ireland in blue.
I've seen Scott fight quite a few times now. I've had the fortune of seeing him fight, of course, on television, like many people did at the Pan Am Games, but I've seen him live in the Nationals. And Scott's a very methodical fighter, very well schooled. He'll drop that right to the body as he did there, and he'll work a lot off that jab and throw the left hook off it.
Big right hand counter by McIntosh lands. First real good scoring blow of the fight.
And he was right out of there, not anywhere for a counter punch, and that's just smart boxing. Hit and don't be hit. It sounds a lot easier than it really is. Nice combinations. Throwing the punches from a lot of angles, trying to get his opponent to drop the hands, maybe anticipate something coming, and guess wrong.
Well, so far, to his credit, Wayland has kept the hands high. I'm sure he knows the caliber of fighter Scott McIntosh is, and is showing the appropriate respect.
Absolutely, and being a national champ himself, he knows that nobody gets to the top without having a little something. And I'm sure they'll find more out about each other as this fight goes on.
McIntosh opens up a little bit, throws a nice combination there, gets the crowd into it.
Beautiful left hook to the body, too, and again, that's when they really want to capitalize on the body shots.
Vicious exchange of right hands by both fighters. McIntosh looked like he almost went down from that one.
Yeah, and he's almost looked like they went, but to his credit, he's still up there and pumping that jab, which is the best thing to do. Always work off that jab. Everything comes off the jab.
Well, we know that the Irish fighters, all Irish fighters, have a lot of heart and determination.
Absolutely.
And, Keith Wayland certainly doesn't seem to lack for either of those.
Nope.
And Scott McIntosh knows that he's going to be in for a battle here, so he's trying to put on a good show for the crowd. Good right hand landed by McIntosh.
And Wayland right back. He's game. There's no doubt about it.
And there's the bell ending the first round of a very, very good contest. No question, though, Scott McIntosh got the better of that.
Certainly, he landed more punches in that round, and he also landed the harder, cleaner punches in that round.
Let's see if we can't get a good listen to Coach Wayne Gordon.
A lot of speed. Stay focused. Okay, this is round 2. You have control of this boat. You keep control. Don't fool around. You hit the target. I don't care where. With those straight punches. Pop, 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 pop. Down the center. Look fast. Okay, look fast. Don't load up with that right hand. Punch fast. It lands. Okay, slide it behind that left hand. Those straight punches. That straight right in the body is there a lot. Use your jab, jab, straight in the body a couple times. And then use your jab, jab. And look at the target and hit with that overhand right on the chin.
Very sound advice being offered there by Wayne Gordon.
Stay unbalanced, way down. Stay, you got him right. Those straight punches.
Seconds out.
And if you're to paraphrase what Wayne Gordon just said, he basically said, don't get too excited. Stay on target. You're doing fine. You're landing your punches fine. You don't have to haul off. Speed will do everything itself.
Stay focused. Don't get careless. Jab, jab, right hand.
Jab, jab, right hand, and I'm sure he'll throw in some nice left hooks, and he's been very good at dropping the right hand to the body and the left hook to the body. I expect to see more of that in this round.
Well, the thing that I really admire about McIntosh is he shows excellent defense.
Yeah.
Good anticipation when his opponent's going to throw a blow.
Absolutely, and it also comes from having good footwork and a very good stance as far as how he postures himself. As we see there, quickly, you know, you can duck out of the way, take that quick step back. That's not careless. You don't have to worry about the opponent coming right in and tagging you if you step straight back.
So we're in round number 2, as you can see, minute and 25 seconds remaining. These are, in all amateur fights, they're 2-minute rounds.
Yeah, there's been a little inconsistency lately, actually, Cecil, as we know. For the longest time, it was 3 3-minute rounds. They experimented a bit with 5 2-minute rounds, and now they've basically settled on 4 2-minute rounds, which is about on average 8 minutes a fight.
Oh, big right hand right on the button landed by McIntosh. That staggered the Irish fighter.
Yeah, you can tell he's hurt. And followed up with a beautiful body shot, too. That may even be, as he's on his feet, that may be the telltale punch right there.
Kind of surprised that there was no standing 8 count applied that time.
Very surprised. I guess if McIntosh would have got a couple more shots off, no doubt Mr. Arsenault would have stepped in there. But to the credit of the Irish fighter, he's definitely stood up very well.
Scott McIntosh in red in command with 35 seconds remaining here in round 2 against Keith Wayland from Ireland. McIntosh working hard on the inside when he gets the opportunity.
Yeah, Wayland's really got to try to find his niche with Scott, and I know that's probably easier said than done, but what he's really got to try to do is find what's going to work. Stepping around to the side. Is he going to have to crowd him inside and go to war?
Good left-right combination landed by McIntosh, who is certainly showing his entire arsenal so far in this round.
Yeah, the one thing that early on we can tell, you know, Scott McIntosh seems to be tagging him with straight punches down the middle. So he does, that's not where he wants to be right now. There's no doubt about it. Fighters head back to the corners again. And I'm sure Wayland's corner is going to let him know that they don't want him to just stand there. Keep moving.
Then you start looking for it, and you lean a little bit
Again,
to the
we're hearing
left.
the voice of Wayne Gordon talking to Scott McIntosh.
Stay with a lot of the good body attack here. When you're on the inside, shoe shine the body, look impressive. Tight D, then bob and weave a little bit. Shoe shine, bob and weave a little bit, okay? Use your fakes and move to your right a little more, okay?
And there we see that beautiful right hand that staggered the Irish fighter, and Scott came right back in on the attack.
Keep control. Try to keep a nice tempo. Okay, don't let him slow it down, but don't go too fast. You don't want to make it look like you're trying to stomp him. Right? Make it look good. You want to be in front. Fast hand. Attach it. Pop, 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 pop. Then move. Pop, 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 then move. But don't reach.
I'll tell you, Cecil, you can really tell by the replay, too, that after you watch here, he set him back into the ropes. Watch the left hook to the body. Really seemed to have hurt him as far as he came back. And that's probably the one he really cringed afterward, as you can see.
Right there, that we just missed.
Yeah, just about to come. But we've seen it once, and I'm sure the viewers picked that one up, too.
Well, another good thing that impressed me about McIntosh is he's not a headhunter completely.
No. And that's essential, especially in the amateur game. A lot of people neglect the body, but you got to remember that if you do that early on and hit the body, then it's really going to pay dividends in the later rounds, as we are now.
Big right hand scored by McIntosh.
Almost seems that Wayland's almost to the point where he doesn't quite know what approach to take with Scott. He's tried faking a little bit, but he keeps coming straight in. He's got to get those angles down, or he's not going to get a schooled fighter like McIntosh to commit to anything where he can capitalize on.
Right now, McIntosh seems to have it on cruise control as he is opening up a little bit with both hands.
Yep. Nice double jab, and he popped that in there, and just blinding speed, he had that right hand in there. As he does it with a lead again.
Sneaky.
Very
right
sneaky.
hand.
Not unlike the one we seen that floored the earlier Irish fighter as well.
And good right hand to the body scored by McIntosh. And
Tony from Bill Arsenault, keep that head up, he said.
a little bit of a smile from McIntosh, like as if to say, well, I'm really not doing it on purpose, coach.
Yeah, guilty as charged, but not intentional. And that's another thing you'll notice about a lot of amateur fighters. As they get a little more tired, you notice that the hooks that used to land flush in the chin or on the target area will start to wrap around almost like a hugging effect. That's just a sign of opening up a little bit, getting a little more tired, which any fighter's going to do at any caliber.
So just in front of us here, Wayland tries to get McIntosh on the ropes and nail him a couple times, but McIntosh with the good footwork spins him out of there, and they're right back in the center of the ring.
Right back where they started. Fighters now, you can tell the pace slowing down a little bit, but now this is where it becomes very important that both fighters want to make sure that they throw quality shots. You don't want to waste shots because that just means that you're going to get more tired every time. I'm sure that McIntosh feels pretty good heading back to the corner right now. I'm sure his corner's just going to basically tell him keep working that like you are.
Well, let's see if we can listen in.
Okay, go ahead and load up. You tried to go to the body one time, you got 2 nice punches. Yeah, you speed. No one speed, just go tap, 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 tap. Don't look, you're loading up, you hit him where your first right hand, you hit him inside the head, and you're trying to load up with it. Look, this guy's slowing down, right? This round, he's slowing down. But I need for you to make the difference of us, everybody looking at it. It's like, holy fuck, look how fast Scott is. I know if you start trying to knock more one punch, you're going to slow down too to emphasize on the power. I need you to show the speed. You can hit, he's slowing in, you go inside, right? And then slide off. Don't face the chin, slide off, go right in. But keep your left leg in. That's when you get inside. You have to get inside.
Seconds out.
Let's go.
So Wayne Gordon emphasizing that point about not going for the knockout blow, but using his speed and quickness, and then slide out.
That's right. Compliments pardon me, the sound effects compliments of Wayne Gordon, of course. I guess that's another way to drive the point home, eh, Cecil?
Well, every boxer knows what that means, right?
Yeah, that means fire hard, fire fast.
So the fourth and final round. The Pan Am silver medalist in red, Scott McIntosh, fighting out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, and his opponent from Ireland in blue, Keith Wayland.
And Keith seems to be firing a little better with the jab right now. And I'm sure his corner told him to make sure that he really works off that, because I don't think he's done that quite right to this fight. That may be what he really needs, but too little, too late. We'll have to see. Nice shot there again by McIntosh to the body.
I think Wayland and the Irish coaches would be very happy to see Wayland just do well in this round.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's to the point now where I think all indications of the scoring would be that he'd need a knockout to win or an RSC. But it's not looking likely because he's not getting the shots off in the frequency he needs. But he could certainly save himself a lot of face here and feel good going back home.
Well, once again, I guess in a position similar as Tyson Cave, this will certainly serve Wayland well, getting in the ring with an experienced fighter like McIntosh.
Absolutely, and I mean, losing to a Pan Am silver medalist is certainly nothing to go home and cry about. And being able to stay in that whole time, you've seen the shots that McIntosh has, well, thrown and hit him with, and he's still standing up there. I have no doubt he will be up there for a decision.
So we got 35 seconds remaining here in the contest, as Scott McIntosh seems to have it well under control.
And fighting a smart fight, as most fighters should when they're ahead. Work off the jab. Don't get in too much combination punching because you don't want to get caught late. This is where you got it sewn up. You don't want to run. You don't want to make it an uninteresting fight. But, you know,
and
shots
McIntosh
like that.
ate a left hand that time.
Yep, exactly. You stay in there, that's when you're going to get hit.
10 seconds to go in the contest, as McIntosh just trying to stay out of harm's way. Lands a left, right, left combination. And at the bell,
punctuates it with that famous right hand to the body.
No question about there'll be no split decision in this one.
Not this one. I think we'll see unanimous for McIntosh all the way. But Keith Wayland should be very proud, keep his head high, and go home and know that he stood in there with the Canadian champ and the silver medalist in the Pan Am Games. That's no small feat by boxing standards. And both fighters now taking off the headsets and the gloves, getting ready for what we believe will be unanimous decision for Scott McIntosh.
How tired are you after four hard rounds of boxing?
Absolutely exhausted. You know, the only analogy I can draw is it almost feels like half the oxygen in the building is gone. You know, you feel like you're hyperventilating, but you're not breathing, and it's so hot. And it's more than anything. I mean, you could sit in the gym and spar 50 rounds and go fight 3 rounds, and you'll be 10 times as tired, you know, because you get that anticipation. As we have a shot of the crowd right now looking around, there's a lot of people around ringside. You certainly don't want to look foolish around them, and you don't want to put up a bad performance. I can only imagine what's going through McIntosh's mind coming off his silver medal performance. You know, he wants to live up to the billing he's been given, and I think so. He's done it very well tonight so far.
So there you see Scott McIntosh adjusting the coiffure and acknowledging the crowd.
He'll have a little something to tell his class about when he gets back, eh?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision. Can we ask Derek Raynard from the Daily News to come forward to make the presentations?
So waiting for the decision.
Thank you, Derek. Your winner tonight by unanimous decision in the red corner, Scott McIntosh.
So no surprise to anyone. By virtue of the unanimous decision, there you see the winner.
Absolutely, and no doubter there. And once again, the Irish fighter has done very well as he gets the proper respect he should right now from the crowd. And I know we're not in Ireland, but boy, I know the fight fans here in the Maritime certainly appreciate a good scrap, and they know that the Irish come ready and they come to fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now take a 15-minute intermission, during which you will be entertained by
Keith Wayland had a nice little chat with Wayne Gordon. I'm sure Wayne said, hey, you stick in there and you're not going to do too badly.
Exactly. No, not at all.
But as we said, the winner, and a rather easy victory tonight for Scott McIntosh, who, as you say, I'm sure he's going to have some nice remarks for his students tomorrow.
Exactly. I'm sure a lot of them will be seeing this on television tonight, watching intently. And he really, it shows the class that he has as a fighter to be able to come out with all the hype, with all the anticipation, and live up to it, and then some. And I mean, he kept his composure beautifully.
Well, that's a...
I'm leaving in a week and a half to Niagara Falls with national team member Mike Strange, my good buddy, and we're fighting Canada versus U.S. out there. A week after that, it's Canada versus France over in France, and then it's getting ready for the Nationals and Olympic trials, Olympic Games, the whole work. So it's pretty much steady for the next 10 months till after the Olympic Games, and then it's break time.
One more question for you, then we'll let you cool off. It seemed to me that you got a great response here. Even after the fight, you had guys slapping your hands. What's that like? It must be exciting.
Oh, it's terrific. I love fighting here in my hometown, and well, you know, my new hometown from Sydney. But it's great to be here. I have a big support crowd now, being here for 3 years. You know, everybody here watched the Commonwealth Games, the World Championships, the Pan Ams. I have a good following. They came out to support me tonight. I really appreciate that, and you know, it really helps me in there, as you've seen by my performance.
Well, congratulations to Scott McIntosh, a winner over Keith Wayland. Now we'll go back to Cecil and Darren. Thanks very much.
So, you know, you have to give full marks to somebody who admits those admissions, as you alluded to earlier. The AFC Doris led into the ring by her husband, Rudy, her husband and trainer.
Absolutely, and you can tell by the midsection, she's in exceptional shape. And very pretty colors, I might add.
Sequins, aren't they?
I believe so, yeah. No, very nice. Almost looks like a dance floor ball, but just ribboned out. But
in my disco days?
In the disco days, eh? The disco days have come and gone, but we have Doris here to stay so far, and she's getting ready and awaiting her opponent right now. And this is a part, Cecil, I know a lot of boxers, they sit in the ring, especially in professional fights. A lot of times they'll have that time limit for the other fighter to get down to the ring. So that's when nerves can kind of get jarred up. But that's what separates the good fighters from the not-so-good fighters, male or female. You got to be able to deal with that distraction and know that sometimes it's intentional. So Doris looks ready, and I know she's going to fight her best she can anyway.
Well, Doris is a fighter who has never lost a fight. She has 17 wins in 17 amateur bouts, and she was a Canadian champion in 1998, and currently she is a Canadian champion at the 60-kilogram division.
Yeah, and Doris says she works out 6 days a week for 2 hours, which is admirable. And of course, her ultimate goal would be a professional world championship in the women's division. And who knows, at 1-0, she's looking to go 2-0. We could expect greater things from her as we now get a view of her opponent heading towards the ring. Once again, that's Shakur Weatherspoon from South Carolina. And she's heard very little about Doris so far, she says in the interview, other than that she is a southpaw like herself. So we'll let them sort it out between them, and nice colors again by her. So if nothing else, we got some pretty colors in the ring.
What color would you call that? Aqua?
I guess that would be like aqua teal, I think, from my days as a fashion consultant.
Yeah, you're a fashion consultant.
Well, maybe it's time we did let women in the boxing because, I mean, hey, they had a lot of color to it and great fighters, as we're about to see.
A 6-round bout, 2-minute round.
So there's a good look at Kira Witherspoon
is Ken Wood
from Greenville, South
for this bout.
Greensboro. And I notice, ironically, her nickname's Pugs, much like Pugwash. So we'll see how that works out.
Well, I certainly am not going to ask how she got that nickname.
Nope.
She is ranked 7th in the world. She's ranked 10th by the WIBF, 7th by the IWBF. She is the sister-in-law of two-time heavyweight champion Tim Witherspoon. She fights out of South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Let's welcome Shakura Pugs Witherspoon. And fighting out of the red corner, she has an unblemished professional record. She was twice the Canadian amateur champion, undefeated in her amateur career and professional. The pride of Pugwash, Nova Scotia, Doris.
So a great ovation for Doris the Hammer Hackle and Shakura Witherspoon, sister-in-law of terrible Tim Witherspoon. How do they get the same last name there?
I don't know how that works out as far as mathematically, but we'll have to take the word on that one. We'll just have to assume that she's a great fighter in her own right, as was terrible Tim Witherspoon, as everybody knows. And the two meet in the middle of the ring, and I'm sure right now they both have something on their mind. One's undefeated, one's world ranked. After this, maybe both that'll change.
So referee for this contest once again, Ken Wood.
Ken Wood, the man in the middle, the third man in the ring, and he's done a great job all night. And we have no reason to believe he won't continue it.
And there's the bell. We're underway.
And again, Cecil, we have two southpaws in the ring here. And I guess technically you could say that Doris has fought, she's an exclusive southpaw fighter in her pro career so far, early as it may be.
So far, you're correct. Doris with a distinct height and probably reach advantage over Witherspoon.
Certainly looks that way.
And Witherspoon certainly looks all business in that ring, too.
Absolutely. She's got the eyes down, looking through the eyelids and whatnot. They look like they're both focused, ready to go.
So
a little bit of a feeling out again.
Hackle opens up early and lands a combination to the head of Witherspoon.
Boy, does the crowd ever react. Who do you think they're supporting?
Doris Hackle in her second professional fight, fighting in the feature bout of the evening.
Well, that's a heck of a billing for you. No doubt about that. It'll be easy to tell, I think, where Doris has been hit. You can tell by the red in her stomach already, and she hasn't even took a hard shot there. Apparently marks fairly easily. We'll have to see what kind of marks she leaves tonight.
Hackle in the sequin trunks and Witherspoon in the
teal,
green, blue,
teal, aqua, I think it is actually.
How's about this? Witherspoon is the blonde.
Witherspoon is the blonde. Got it. The brunette and the blonde sounds good.
Hackle lands a solid right hand on the jaw of Witherspoon, who smiles it off.
I don't know if you see it early on, Cecil, but she does have some resemblance to the fighting style of terrible Tim Witherspoon. Just kind of leaves that prodding style, leaves that hand a little low. I wonder if she'll be as sneaky with it. She better be, because Doris is coming on nice in this first round.
Well, feeling out round. And I'm not even sure if Witherspoon landed a blow, but Hackle certainly landed several, so we'd have to give her the advantage in the first round.
Certainly would, and you know, we go to the corner now of Shakura, and she's getting some advice. I'm sure they'll just tell her, don't let your nerves get in the way. Go out there, work the jab. Don't let anything get, you know, worked up in your head. And for Doris, they're probably telling her, just keep working like you're working. Keep working the jab, and don't worry about it. Just keep working your game. The crowd is definitely in this one as we check out the replay here. We see Doris come across with the right hand after a little left uppercut there. Not a lot of damage done, but the scoring punches. And we get ready now for round 2. This scheduled 6 round, I believe it is.
Boxing really good. Keep your weight low, just like they're doing.
Once again, the card girl will take her exit before 2 other girls head out to the middle of the ring. And Shakura is definitely looking to get a little something going here offensively. She's definitely not going to win if she doesn't start punching.
Well, round 1 is in the books. Certainly advantage to Hackle, and let's see what happens here in round 2 as Hackle comes out throwing the right jab, as does Witherspoon.
Doris really trying to use that reach, throwing a lot of straight punches, not really worrying about the hooks right now until she gets inside.
And the fighters seem to be willing to mix it up just a little bit more in this round than in the preceding round. Hackle throws, misses a left, and catches her with a left-right combination.
And Shakura's going to have to start throwing that a little more. She's going to have to find a way inside. Doris obviously with a height and reach advantage, so she's going to have to find a way in the back door right now.
Hackle just a little bit short with that left.
And it's funny, Witherspoon doesn't throw that jab a little more because she has landed it when she's thrown it. It's just a matter of not throwing it. Two sizing each other up for now. Content to wait for the openings. Witherspoon throwing a little more this round anyway. Not a lot of authority on the punches though. She may want to try to even set up a couple soft ones, followed by a hard one, although she made enough effort at it there, so that's not bad.
Doris Hackle, Canadian champion, squaring off versus Shakura Witherspoon from Greensboro, South Carolina. Hackle with a left hand. Now she's got her in the corner, lands another left, now jab. Hackle starting to warm up a little bit to the task, and she's got the crowd on her side.
Chant of Doris. I obviously like this young lady here from Pugwash, Nova Scotia. She's built herself up a 1-0 record, and she looks to be on her way to a 2-0 record. Barring any kind of fallout, she's looked so good so far. Drops that right hand in this.
And that was about the first blow that Witherspoon has landed all night, was a left hand just before the bell.
But I don't think good enough to win the round. Not by a long shot. No, so far, Hackle's definitely taken control of the fight. She's dictated the pace. And so far, I would have to say that Witherspoon has really been a little reluctant. And if she's going to do it, she better start soon because we're heading to round 3, the halfway point of the fight.
Let's see if we can listen into Hackle's corner. So Coach Wayne Gordon asking her to, after the jab, think about the right hook once in a while.
That's right, and that's what she wants to do, especially with a shorter opponent. She can get a lot of leverage on that. And the two back out at it again for round 3. 3 of 6 we got going on here. And Doris can try to work that jab, and her coach tells her, throw the right hook. Drop it in there. Wouldn't hurt. Very reluctant opponent so far in Shakura Witherspoon. We may decide to pick it up pretty soon, although she's going to have to.
Well, Hackle's starting to work that jab, and she's got Witherspoon holding on here early into the 3rd round.
Yeah, Witherspoon is definitely a little reluctant. She must have got stung. I mean, it's tough to say how hard those blows are, although that one probably didn't feel too good.
Another left hand landed to the head of Witherspoon by Doris Hackle. Doris wants to mix it up a little bit now. Here's that jab.
Doris working the jab very well, and everything will come off that because, and you can tell that Witherspoon's a little flustered right now. She doesn't know what's coming. She's a little panicky, and that's exactly what Doris wants her to do right now. That's playing right into the game plan.
Well, Doris Hackle very, very cool in that ring. Doesn't seem to get too flustered.
A little showboating there by Hackle. Sitting as if to say,
Hackle now just standing there hoping that Witherspoon wants to fight. And Witherspoon seems ready to mix it up there as the two exchange blows in the corner. Hackle getting the better. There's a left hand.
The crowd definitely liking this 3rd round. And Doris definitely would like a little more action from her opponent. I suspect she'd like to do a little more counter punching, but forced to carry the offense, and she's doing that well.
So Doris, the hammer Hackle, is hammering her point home that she wants to climb that ladder in Canadian and international professional women's boxing as she's laying a thumping on Shakura Witherspoon. here at the end of the third round.
And at the halfway mark of this fight, there's no doubt that Doris has got 3 rounds to 0 in the bag.
All right, we're going to have to take a little break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more professional women's boxing action here at the Metro Center. Entering round 4, Doris the Hammer Hackle in the sequined trunks versus Greensboro, South Carolina's Shakira Witherspoon.
As we mentioned, is 7th ranked in the world, but she's looking very much so outclassed so far in the first 3 rounds. And she's definitely got to get something going soon.
And the way Doris seems to be in command of this fight, it doesn't look like Witherspoon's even going to present too much of a problem. Doris with a distinct reach advantage, and she's letting both fists fly now.
Absolutely, and I think right now Doris is really overwhelming her with the reach and her ability to hit her with different angle punches, which I think Shakira is almost to the point where she's scared to throw because she feels she's going to get hit. But no doubt Doris has wanted her to throw a little more punches, and I suspect it's because she wants to throw some counter punches off. And she's got her on the ropes a little bit, and Shakira doesn't seem to want to move around too much. And now the 2 girls in the middle of the ring beginning to mix it up a little bit. And a little bit of disturbance here in the crowd. You can hear them really wailing on them right now. The 2 girls are trying to keep the composure, but they can't help but notice there's a little bit of a ruckus outside the ring right now.
And inside the ring, Doris the Hammer Hackle and Shakira Witherspoon putting on a good show.
These 2 girls have come to fight, and it just goes to show that they don't even care what's going on outside the ring. In the ring's what's at stake. A number 7 world-ranked woman against an undefeated woman, and I'll tell you, one of them wants to come out with the other's gut.
Well, I'd venture to say that all Doris Hackle has to do is stay on her feet. She's got this contest in the bag.
Yeah, she's got it under control, and I mean, it's almost to the point now where she wants to sit back and just pick her shots, but earlier on, her indication is that she'd like her to fight a little more, so I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a little mad about it.
So Doris the Hammer Hackle once again in control. Didn't appear to have too many problems with Witherspoon in that round either.
Now in this round now, Cecil, you get to the point where in the 5th round of 6, she's obviously in control of the fight. I wonder if she's going to go for a knockout or just play the safe way. I mean, I would think that right now what she wants to do is just try to work her jab, stay in the fight, not really try to push the issue too much. And if the knockout presents itself, then she probably might want to go for it.
Well, there you see her virtually unblemished Doris Hackle, and usually her left cheekbone bruises kind of easily, so you can tell she's taking hardly a shot at all.
No, not at all. And we've seen earlier in her stomach, all it takes is to touch her and she turns a little red, so easy to tell. It's almost like paintball. So we get ready here for round 5. Shakira Witherspoon and Doris the Hammer Hackle.
So here we go. 5th round is underway. Hackle comes out, blazing away with that jab.
She really wants to drop that 1-2 in there. The only polishing up I think that Doris could use right now, she seems to loop that.
Oh!
Good one there.
Good left hand from Witherspoon finally lands and back Doris up for a moment.
Yeah, Doris actually may even relate to what I was going to say, was that Doris is kind of looping that right hand a little bit. She should throw that right down the pipe because she's also, in order to loop it, you leave it open just that split second that somebody could slip a punch in there.
Well, Witherspoon landed a right hand right on the nose, and there's some blood now coming from the nose of Doris the Hammer Hackle.
Yeah, the first, maybe only shot she landed was one of the better ones of the fight. Certainly won't be enough to win it in the judges' eyes, though. She's got to really get busy, but something like that can be encouraging, especially when you do see blood. People have a habit of, you know, it's like the old analogy that a shark smells blood or a dog smells fear. They'll attack.
Seems like Witherspoon is just doing a little bit more stalking in this round, looking maybe to land that big blow.
Yeah, and I think she's given up on combination punching. I think she's just looking for that opening. She just wants to drop that one big bomb in there and have it done, but that's not sound strategy. You really have to work for those openings. And I'm sure she'll learn that as she goes along in a fairly young professional career so far.
So a combination exchange right there by both boxers.
Once again, the crowd getting behind the hammer.
Hackle drops a left hand in there, kind of a grazing blow.
Shakur trying to look for that opening.
18 seconds remaining here in this, the 5th round.
And these girls are just in great shape. You can't say enough about it because they've both taken some shots now. Doris has been throwing a lot more, but she's kept the composure great.
Good exchange at the bell for both boxers, but Doris Hackle seemingly well in control.
Absolutely, and going into the last round now, it looks like Doris Hackle's got an easy lead, and she probably may want to sit back and just take her time, pluck that jab off, pick off the shots that Shakur is trying to throw. And Shakur is taking some heat in the corner, but we're looking at the replay here, and there's the one shot that bloodied the nose of Doris Hackle. And although the viewers can't see it, we're looking in the corner of Shakur there, Witherspoon, and her coach has been a little mad at her. He got a little physical there for a second, just gave her a shot with the cloth, saying, come on, are you going to fight for me or what? Back to the replay here, we see the two locking it up towards the end of the round, and they really started to let them fly here. Not great quality punches, but they were landing nonetheless.
Well, certainly the effort and the will is there.
No doubt about it. They both come to fight. You got to give them full credit for that. And it's not easy to come into a hometown of a Doris Hackle like this. And I mean, you hear the obvious support the crowd's giving her. That's a tough thing for you to overcome, but that's why you got to be professional about it.
So here we go, the 6th and final round. Doris Hackle and Shakur Witherspoon.
Doris looking for that right hand again. It's landed for her before, and she's looking for it. If Shakur was smart now, she'd really just be looking to counter with that left hand, just like that. That's her best bet, because at this point, there's no doubt she needs a knockout, which would be a tall order.
I'm amazed that Doris Hackle's even coming forward here. I just keep Witherspoon on the end of the right hand jab.
Absolutely.
And use my mobility.
Now, there's, you know, it's got to the point now where she has nothing to gain and everything to lose by continuing to fight her. I mean, and there should be a fine line drawn between running and just being a professional about it. I mean, she has no reason to get inside, mix it up. Well, nothing to gain.
Doris Hackle, though, she comes to fight. She's not here just to win by boxing. She wants to win and win impressively.
Well, we do notice now Shakur's actually started landing some of her better shots in the fight this round. So once again, it would be a good idea for Doris to just work that jab and drop that right hand, and that's what she's been trying to do all night anyway, and it's worked pretty well for her. So she must just keep on with the game plan she has.
We've got 40 seconds remaining in the contest. Doris Hackle 40 seconds away from winning another professional fight.
Advancing her record 2-0.
Takes the left hand. And she certainly would do well to get off the ropes and stay out of the corner with 25 seconds remaining.
Absolutely. It looks to be well on her way to winning this fight. It's too bad that Shakur Witherspoon didn't start to fight until about the 5th round, because she could have made this a lot more of an interesting fight, but I guess we'll take the cards that are dealt to us. I wonder what this does, Cecil, for Doris now, beating a 7th-ranked world fighter very handily, as it looks like, as it has turned out now. An explanation point on the fight. Doris lands last shot. Witherspoon over to embrace her and tell her she fought a good fight, which she did.
Well, I don't think there is any question about the winner of this contest here.
No.
Doris Hackle should win a unanimous decision, and anything other than that, I guess, would be a severe shock to the many in attendance.
Barring a happening of the likes of Holyfield Lewis.
I'm not even going there.
No. That's just something the boxing community would like to forget altogether. We take a look at Doris Hackle in her corner, in all likelihood advancing her professional record down to 2 wins with no losses. Still undefeated as an amateur and a professional.
The announcement of the outstanding pro boxer this evening.
So there's Doris Hackle.
Congratulations to Jody Dorrington out of Dartmouth.
No doubt about the decision of this fight, but look at the shot she landed there, and that's just nice hand-eye coordination, tying her up when she needs to, letting the shots go. I know the decision here is not in doubt, but if I had to cast my vote for who is the professional tonight, I'd have to think LaRiviere has got to be in the running. He looked fantastic.
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you he's something special.
Well, it was a pleasure to watch him fight. I look forward to it.
We will see him again, and I'd like to see him take a little step up in the caliber of his next opponent, because I think he's equal to the task.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like you say, he's looking so good, so young. He can afford to step it up without really taking a real risk. 3,200 is our announced crowd tonight. So you're pretty much on the money on that one. You told me so again.
Plan to do this all again in November. Another night at the fights coming up in November.
So Doris, the Hammer Hackle, waiting to get the decision over Shakira Witherspoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision.
And the announcer just announced that we have a split decision, which is just kind of mind-boggling to yours truly.
I would say, I hope those magic words Holyfield Lewis didn't spoil it.
Actually, allow me to rephrase, the decision is unanimous.
Oh,
okay. Little candy camera.
And now Shakira Witherspoon turns and looks at the announcer.
Judge Jerry Dorian scores the bout 59-57. Judge Craig Smith scores the bout 60-54. Judge Brian Munch scores the bout 60-54. For the winner, from Pugwash, Nova Scotia,
still undefeated.
There you see the winner from Pugwash, Nova Scotia, Doris the Hammer Hackle, who defeats Shakira Witherspoon.
So now that boasts her reputation quite a bit. To be the 7th world-ranked fighter, you got to wonder where that places her in the grand scheme of things.
Well, you know, Doris does want to move on up the ranks in women's professional boxing, so certainly want to feel good for her.
Absolutely, and it's a tremendous step forward for her as well. But we got to give her credit again to Shakira Witherspoon, who came. I can't really say she came to fight too hard, but I mean, coming into a hometown crowd, pretty rough. Great support for Doris, good fighter, and she knew it from the get-go. So
she came to laugh.
Absolutely. She was standing in the end, and good caliber fighter. You can't say much more than that, really.
Doris Hackle is just an award the most outstanding professional boxer of the evening.
Doris, of course, the headliner. She's done well for herself. Again, 2-0. Still undefeated as a boxer, and she gets the kudos on top of it.
All right, we're going to throw it now to Dan Robertson, who's standing in the ring with the winner, Doris the Hammer Hackle.
Thanks, Cecil. Doris, tell us about the fight. A great one. What was the key to your victory?
I was boxing her, not going inside and fighting a fight inside, but standing outside. So I have the better reach, and it worked very well.
The fans really were behind you here tonight. How did that feel?
Very good, I like it. And I really say thank you to all my fans here.
And what's next for Doris Hackle?
We don't have a fight planned yet, but I'm sure there will be one in the next future. And we are working towards getting a title shot as soon as possible.
Okay, well, best of luck and thanks for your time. Okay, that is Doris Hackle. Back to Cecil.
All right, thanks so much, Dan. Cecil Wright and Darren Bowden here. Great evening of professional boxing witnessed by 3,200 in attendance, and we'd like to think there are thousands in our viewing audience. Doris gets most outstanding professional boxer of the evening. Certainly she earned it.
Fought very well, and again, making her mark up to 2-0 as a professional and 19-0 as a boxer. So we're looking for bigger and better things from her in the future.
Well, that really says something, her winning that over the likes of Mike Harvey, who landed a beautiful body shot and stopped his opponent. Vince Schreiber, also Steve Lerviere, who we just love, and he did the same thing to Guy DeForge, and even Fadi Mazui, who stopped Todd Black.
Absolutely. We've had a great mix of professionals and amateurs tonight, and as far as the professionals go, you know, you can almost throw the names into a hat and pick them because they're all very deserving.
That's right. We don't want to forget those amateurs. The amateurs led by Dan Green, who just scored probably the best shot of the night, right on the button, stopped his opponent, Gary Sheehan. Gary Sheehan.
Gary Sheehan knocked out, pretty much a one-shot knockout, and there was no doubt from the time he hit the mat, and the ref knew it, the crowd knew it, and so did we.
And of course, we should mention Tyson Cave and Scott.
Absolutely good learning experience for Tyson Cave. He fought a good fight, and hopefully he'll take from that what he can learn and come back future as well.
All right, so we hope you've enjoyed the evening of boxing from here. We're going to send it back to Dan. So long from Cecil Wright and Darren Bowden. Hope you enjoyed it.
Good night.
And that about wraps it up here from the Halifax Metro Center tonight after an extremely exciting night of boxing. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. For Cecil Wright and Darren Bowden, I'm Dan Robertson. Thanks for watching A Night at the Fights live on Eastlink Community Television.